Hey guys, welcome back to Mishmas. I am so excited to be doing this video today. I have been meaning to do this video for a very long time, this entire year basically, because the first handbag I purchased was in 1995, and so this would be my 25-year anniversary of collecting luxury handbags. So I wanted to make sure that I did a video like this year. I wanted to do a collection video, but I just have a lot of handbags and a lot of them aren't terribly relevant anymore. I've never sold any of my handbags. I like to keep them. I do like to collect them. I have given a few away here and there. So I have a lot, and I wanted to be able to show you some parts of my collection. And my friend here on YouTube, Kat L, she took the all about my fill in the blank idea that was started by Samantha March and Ali Glines. They did that about eyeshadow palettes, and she did it for her luxury handbags. And I thought that was such a great idea. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be talking all about my luxury handbags, but at least we have a little bit of guidance here. We have some parameters, so I'm not just rambling. But before we get into it, I just wanna mention that I love handbags. I love handbags as much as I love makeup. It is definitely a passion of mine. And like I said, I've been collecting handbags for 25 years now. And I love handbags for exactly what they are. I love the craftsmanship of them. I love the design of them. I love the fact that they're an accessory that gives whatever outfit you're wearing like a little bit of pop. And so I've always in the past just purchased handbags that have caught my eye or whatever. So I don't know, like off the top of my head, a lot of the years that I bought some of these handbags, so they're going to be approximations. I also don't know like the names of handbags and like the season that they came out. I can probably give you approximations, but that was never something I really paid attention to. And obviously I started collecting handbags, you know, far before YouTube was a thing, or even like the internet was really a big thing. So I never really like look them up, or you couldn't really do that much research, if you will. So I just wanted to mention those few things before we got into this list. All right, so the first one is the newest bag in my collection, and I did just talk about this in my Chanel haul video, and that is this little Chanel 255 reissue bag. This is, I believe, the mini size. See, I already, I don't know sizes and whatever, but I believe this is the mini size. And this is part of the Cruise 2021 collection. And it's this really like hot, like pinky coral tweed boucle. It's just wonderful. And I really fell in love with the hardware of the 255. I had always assumed that these chains would be really heavy and uncomfortable. They actually are kind of heavy, but I thought they would be kind of uncomfortable, as a lot of chain straps can be on the shoulder. But the design of this chain is so incredible because everything is rounded and it lays flat, and yeah, I just fell in love with everything about it. I am not usually a bright colored bag person, let alone a small sized bag person, but there was just something about this bag that really, it just caught my eye. And yeah, and I just thought it would look really good with all of the black that I'm usually wearing. Just be a really nice pop of color. So this is the newest handbag in my collection. Oh my God, do I still have the sticker on the hardware? I do. I'm gonna take the sticker off of the clasp. I am like such an idiot. Oh, here we go. Ah, oh, there's more. There's one on the inside part. Wow. Oh, there's one on the inside here too. Wow. All right, now I can put her down. The oldest bag in my collection, and like I mentioned in the intro of this video, this bag is 25 years old. This is the very first luxury handbag that I ever purchased for myself. It was in 1995, and I had just graduated from college, and I was working my first job at Saks Fifth Avenue, and with my very first paycheck, which should have gone to a bed because I was sleeping on the floor in a sleeping bag, and I was using a corrugated box that I had used to move into this apartment. That was my nightstand. That was all I had in this teeny tiny apartment that I shared with a friend. Anyway, I took my very first paycheck and I went out and I bought this Prada tote bag. It is nylon. It has the gold chains with the leather woven through. It's very Chanel-esque. It has the gold hardware, And it has like 3 compartments on the inside. It basically has like a center zipper pocket and then 2 on the outside. And then there's an interior pocket here. So the early 90s was when Prada was so popular, and everyone had some sort of form of a black nylon bag. The more popular ones I would say are like, you know, the more utilitarian ones. Everyone had that like little backpack, the one with the 2 pockets in the front and the flap on top, with the silver hardware. And men and women alike, because it was such a moment in fashion where androgyny was so hot, and that whole like utilitarian style was, oh, it was just so good. There was like the grunge thing going on and the utilitarian style with the androgyny. It was like all kind of like intertwined. It was such a good moment in fashion. I really missed that moment. So anyway, I purchased this bag in the fall of 1995. All right, the most expensive bag in my collection is the Hermes Birkin. So I'm not even gonna hold it up because it's so heavy. So I think this is the Clemence leather. See, I'm not really good with all the terms or whatever. This is it's black, it's leather, and it has the gold hardware. So I have the 40 size one. It is way too big. I purchased this bag back in 2005, so it's about 15 years old. And back then I was working like in corporate America. So this bag was really appropriate then. I was, you know, carrying my laptop around. I was had maybe some gym clothes in here. I mean, I was really like a pack mule, and the 40 centimeter size was the one that seemed the most appropriate for me. But because the style of the Birkin is such a like, I don't know, kind of briefcase style bag, ever since I left corporate America, I've had no reason to carry around my Birkin. And when I do, I kind of feel like an idiot. It's so formal in a way. It's so structured that it's really just not a very practical bag. And also because you have to hold it in your hand, it's just not, it's like not the bag for me anymore. So this Hermes Birkin 40 is by far my most expensive bag in my collection. Next up, I'm supposed to be showing you my least expensive bag, and this is actually very tricky because, well, one, I'm talking about my luxury handbag, so I didn't want to just pull out, you know, like canvas totes or things like that I have, because I have a ton of those, and that would be silly. And a lot of the bags that I have, I purchased back like in the late 90s. So a lot of them that are priced much more now were, I don't know, maybe $500, $600. So my best guess is this Fendi Baguette bag. So I purchased this, I think in like around 1997. And this was before I was even a knitter. And I just fell in love with like these baubles. I really love the texture of this. It looked like a sweater. And Sex and the City was like huge then, and she always had like a Fendi Baguette bag. But those Baguette bags, the typical ones were, I thought, just a little bit too small. They just wouldn't fit everything that I needed. So this is, I believe, the Baguette like Mama size is what they called it. It has this like magnetic closure, and it has satin lining, and it has these adjustable straps. I always left it on the longest, and look how dirty this is. This is actually from like wearing it with black overcoats. But anyway, I'm gonna guess that this one is my least expensive bag, but again, only because I purchased this back in 1997. I think if they were to sell this bag now, it would probably be, I don't know, $1,500, $1,800. But yeah, the number that comes to mind in terms of what I paid for it, I think it was like $595. That's how much this bag was back in 1997. As for my everyday bag, you know, this has also changed ever since I moved to Las Vegas. So for those of you who don't know, I used to live in New York City. And so my everyday bag in New York City had to be very practical. It had to basically be like a transformer. I could use a crossbody, I could put it on my shoulder, I could hold it in my hand. It had to have easy access to my wallet, to my Metro card, all of these things. And here in Vegas, obviously, I do not need any of those things. So the everyday bag that I used in New York, and I still use here on occasion, but my everyday bag that I used in New York City is this Givenchy Pandora. I have the large size, and it's in that crinkly leather. And I think I purchased this when I turned either 40 or 41, I don't remember. So this is about 6 or 7 years old, and it fits. I mean, it's a pretty big bag. It looks like a pretty big bag, but it fits, I think, so much more than you think it does. So this zipper accesses like the whole bag. And so I would put, you know, books, my iPad, gym clothes, like everything fit in there. I mean, you know, the bag would be pretty puffy. And then in this front pocket, I would have my phone and my wallet. And then in here, it was the perfect, like, do I have a Metro card? Oh my God, I have a Metro card in here. So this was the perfect Metro card spot. And I have a bunch of Metro cards in here. Oh, another one. So this bag was, for me, the absolute perfect bag for the city. So it has this long strap that I could wear a crossbody. It has this handle that actually could fit over my shoulder, so it was a great shoulder bag, or I could just hold in my hand, and it was just perfect. This was my default New York City bag. It is like everything, absolutely everything. So this was my like ultimate everyday bag with the best memory attached to it. So this is actually my very first Chanel bag, and it's this patent leather navy mini bag, and I have no idea what this style is. I think I purchased this maybe in like 2005. I really have no idea. I can't remember, but I did purchase this bag for a specific event. I was going to a Whitney like fundraising event, and yeah, and I bought like an outfit for it. It was just a lot of fun. So I do have very, very good memories attached to this bag, and it being my very first Chanel bag purchase. I purchased this actually at Bergdorf Goodman, not at the Chanel boutique. And just to show you the bag, so it is like one of those double flap bags. It has one pocket in here. It has room for like business cards or very, very small cell phones. I think back then the flip phone was big, and that would fit right in there. And I definitely don't use this bag very often now. Patent leather, I think, is very, very specific. It's a little bit dressy looking, I think. I also don't wear a lot of navy, and the strap length, you know, is great if you just want to hold the bag, if you just want to throw it over your shoulder. But I'm a very big like crossbody person, and if I don't have that option, it's just not a bag that I'm going to reach for like an everyday bag, like that Givenchy bag. So this is my bag with the best memories attached to it. Next up is a bag that is worth the hype, and maybe because this is fairly new to my collection that I'm just so in love with it, but this is the Chanel Trendy Bag. So I have it in the size medium. I think I really want to get it in a size small also, but I have seen so many Instagram pictures of this bag. I mean, it's really been hyped up. I've seen so many YouTube reviews of this bag, no matter the size, small, medium, or large. And no matter the color or the stitching, some of them have chevrons, some of them have the smaller quilting, and I have like the larger quilting here. And I was really hesitant about this bag. To me, it just looks very kind of grandma-ish. It's very structured. It's a little bit on the heavier side because the lining is in leather instead of a fabric, but this bag has totally surprised me. It really goes with a lot of things. It really doesn't look quite as stuffy as I envisioned it. It really can go with some very casual outfits that I've worn. I mean, maybe it's not like the best accompaniment to it, but it doesn't look crazy. Like, there are definitely some bags, like the Chanel Navy patent bag. That is a very specific bag, and I don't feel like I can wear that with a lot of different outfits, but this has been surprisingly versatile, and it is really worth all the hype. And the other bag that I want to mention for this category is the Chanel 19 bag. This bag has been so hyped since its release last year in 2019, and it's just great. I really love it. There was no real doubt in my mind. This bag is much more me than something like the Trendy Bag. So I'm not surprised that I love it, but this bag has really been hyped up, and I think it lives up to all the hype. Next up, let's talk about a bag that does not live up to the hype, and unpopular opinion probably, this Pkwy bag. I think this is the Marcy, I think. But I purchased this because, again, it was like really hyped up. I felt like everyone had it. You know, I was like walking down the streets of New York, everyone had it. They had this shade, or they had that brown, kind of like mid-tone warm brown color. You guys know what I'm talking about. And occasionally I would see a black one out there. So, and I really liked the looks of this bag. I really liked this kind of like horseshoe styling here and the like leather wrapped handles. I just thought it was really cool. And when I went into Bergdorf again, which is where I purchased this, I was like, oh, it's nice, you know, it kind of fits over my shoulder. And I never really got into this bag because of many reasons. One, while it does fit over my shoulder, it's pretty tight. So if I have a coat on, it doesn't really. So then I have to hold it in my hand or like in the crook of my elbow, which I can't stand. So that was kind of annoying. And then this is one of those bags that fits a lot less than it looks. So this, I believe, is the large size, and I think they had like a large, and well, now I think they have like a gazillion different sizes. It just didn't fit that much. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because it's kind of flat or because it has like that rounded bottom, or yeah, I don't know what the deal was. And then this flap in the front actually covers a pocket, and I thought, oh great, great for my Metro card, great for, you know, my cell phone or whatever. But it was just kind of hard to get into. It's just a very awkward kind of bag. For me, it just didn't really work. I wish it did come with a strap. I do think then like maybe the outer pocket would be a little bit more convenient. And then the most annoying thing, and this may be a little nitpicky, but the most annoying thing is you would open up this zipper all the way, and if you unzipped it hard enough, this actually comes undone, almost like a jacket. But once it comes undone, you're not going to sit there in the middle, especially in New York City, on the subway or in the street, like sitting there trying to like re-zip it. So then basically I would walk around with my bag wide open, and there was no point in having that zipper. So this for me was definitely not worth the hype. And it's really, really heavy. For like not much of a bag going on here, it's incredibly heavy. All right, favorite bag from favorite brand. And since I've already talked about Chanel, which is probably at the moment my favorite bag brand, I do have a bag for my favorite brand, like my favorite overall brand, and that is the Row. The Row, which is owned by the Olsen twins. And I love their handbags. I have two from the Row. And so this is my favorite bag from them. Again, I don't remember when I purchased this, but I did purchase this at Barney's, and it is the Backpack 11. So it is leather, it has gold hardware, and it has like webbing for straps. It also has this strap, which you can remove if you want very easily. It just has these like little clasps here, and it's great because if you want to just hold it like it's a handbag, you can. It's a little bit tight to put over the shoulder, but you can in emergencies. I generally just put one strap of the backpack over me, but I have used this bag to death. This and the Givenchy Pandora are probably like neck and neck for everyday bag, but because this has just like one open massive pocket in here, it's a little bit less practical than the Pandora. At least it was in New York. I've been actually using this more here in Vegas because, you know, I don't need like quick access to a Metro card here. It does have one inside zipper pocket here, and then the drawstring just opens, and then it's just a big sack in there. So there's a zipper pocket on the inside, there's like two interior pockets in there. So this for me was you know, a really casual bag, but it was also just really super chic because it is this really soft leather. I think this may even be deerskin, and then the hardware just kept it really, really sharp and like urban looking. And I love this bag. I mean, I love the Row bags. They're really, really beautiful. And I think in 2021, I definitely want to get another one, but I have this one and I have like a tote from them, which I don't actually use very often. It's a beautiful bag, but it's just not really my style anymore. But this bag, I love, and it's so like worn in. The finish of the hardware is kind of like coming off and it's looking really old, but I kind of like that about it. I really like when my bags start to look kind of aged and weathered, and you can see the love in them. So let's see. So next is most used bag, and I think I've answered that probably with my most everyday bag. My Givenchy Pandora bag is probably my most used bag for sure. That one, the Row backpack, which I just showed you, and that Prada tote, just because I've had that for so long and I would whip it out every once in a while. That is probably one of my most used bags as well. Most underrated bag. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for this, so I'm just going to talk about a bag that I want to talk about. And I think this was a pretty hyped up bag when at its height of its popularity. But this is the Givenchy Nightingale. And this is in like a gray, worn, washed leather. I fell in love with this color and this material. It almost looks like, it's not, it almost looks like elephant skin. But it's just such a cool bag. It's such an interesting shape. Like when this first came out, there was really nothing like this bag. It had this like goofy shoulder strap that was really kind of awkward, but I always used it anyway. And then these handles would kind of stick out strangely, or they would stick right up into my armpit. But I just love this bag. It fit a lot. This is one of those bags that fits a lot more than it looks. And for some reason, I didn't mind carrying this bag in my hand. I don't know if it's because these handles are definitely like on the shorter side, so the bag doesn't hang down too low. And then if I needed to, I would just use the shoulder strap. So this is definitely a bag that I really loved. I definitely used this bag quite a bit. I was definitely having a Givenchy moment for a while there. So if this bag was not beloved by many, I think it was. But if it wasn't, then this is definitely the most underrated bag. Most nostalgic bag. I think, you know, the Fendi, the Baguette, the Mama bag is definitely a nostalgic bag for me because it reminds me of Sex and the City, and that was just such a moment in pop culture and in fashion and kind of living it. You know, I was younger than they were when I was watching the show. Anyway, it was just such a moment, and because Carrie always had like a Fendi baguette with her, that is definitely just a very, very nostalgic kind of bag for me. The other one is this LV bag that I got. I think it's a Deauville, like a shoe tote. I got this in 98. I can't remember. Like the late 90s, maybe 2000. I'm not sure, but this bag was less than $1,000 back then, if you can believe. And inside, it's like actually a piece of luggage. I think you're supposed to put your shoes in here. Oh, is there a tag? Hold on. Oh no, I just have this old tag in there. It says coated fabric, cowhide leather trim, man-made lining. And so I picked up this bag when LV was basically making a resurgence again. So they were very popular, you know, way back in the day, like when my parents were my age. And then they kind of died out, and then they had this resurgence. It was right around the time that they put Marc Jacobs there as the head designer. And so all of a sudden LV was like really, really hot again. And so I went and purchased this bag. But again, it was just, you know, it was just such a fun time in the fashion world. And, you know, all the media surrounding fashion, it was becoming a thing. You know, before they would just have like their catwalk shows and you would see some supermodels here and there, but it really wasn't a thing. You know, social media obviously didn't exist then. I would get all my information from like a stolen copy of WWD because it was a very expensive subscription to have. And then all of a sudden fashion houses were using like really popular designers to kind of head up their design team, and like that was becoming like a thing. And it was just, yeah, it was just such a cool time in the fashion world, and that's what this bag reminds me of. All right, and last but not least, most disappointing bag. It's disappointing because it's all my fault. So this is a Chanel, I think these are called like the shopping tote, I think, something like that. I really do not remember when I got this tote, but it's in white caviar leather, and it's a small little tote. So I think we've all done this before. You know, we go shopping and we end up buying something that we don't have because we don't have it. So of course I had a lot of very practical, more practical like black bags in my collection, or neutral colored bags in my collection. And I didn't have anything that was white, and I didn't have anything that was like this size. And so I thought I was kind of filling out my collection. But when in fact I was buying a bag that I didn't have, and didn't have for a reason, because I don't really like them. So this size for me was really kind of stupid. It wasn't small enough to be like a small bag, like my 255 mini bag. So it's not like this little cute petite bag that could kind of be like an evening bag, but it's not big enough to be like a proper tote. It's just a size that is, I don't know, just kind of, it's in between. It's not small or practical. And so I just never used it. And it's white. So it's, you know, just a very specific kind of bag. And again, I bought it because I'm like, oh, I don't have a bag this size. I don't have a white bag. I'm gonna get this one. It's gonna be great. I don't have anything like this. And again, I don't have anything like this because I don't have anything like this, because I don't want anything like this, essentially. So this for me was the most disappointing because I never really used it, but it's all my fault. It's not this bag's fault. It's not like it let me down. It's just not me. It's just not me. So anyway, that is the most disappointing bag in my collection, and that is it for this video. So I think you got a really good glimpse into my collection. Many of you have been asking me to do a handbag collection video, and like I said, I just have so many and I don't really keep them. I don't keep them in very good shape. When I was living in New York, I had absolutely no room. I had to, you know, put them all underneath my bed into those under the bed boxes. You would be horrified, absolutely horrified. They would always offer me a box for my bags, and I was like, no, because I didn't have room for them. So I would just kind of shove them under my bed. So anyway, I do have a ton of handbags, and I hope that was a nice peek into my collection. And I really can't believe it has been 25 years since I bought that Prada tote, my first luxury handbag. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you in tomorrow's Mishmas video.